So apparently, we are apparently gathered here to speak about the unspeakable. Well, there's no such thing as speaking about something that's unspeakable, but here's an attempt to express something that cannot be expressed. What's being expressed is that there is no such thing as opposites. There's no such thing as, sorry, just a second. There's no such thing as things. There's no such thing as non-duality. No such thing as concepts. There are no stories, but everything seems to be stories or concepts about something that cannot be understood. So this is an expression that nothing can be claimed as an absolute or truth, or there's no final destination. It's like chasing infinity. Have you ever tried chasing infinity? It'll just be an infinite expression of what infinity is. So what's being expressed here is an attempt to express something that is infinite, something that is completely unknowable. But here we are, expressing this, listening to this, trying to figure it out. It can't be figured out. I was watching. See, this is the new documentary that I watched. It's a trip to infinity, and there was something really that caught my attention. There was a parable of the infinite hotel. So in this apparent infinite hotel with infinite number of rooms, but it's always full. But there is a night manager that seems to be quite creative, right? So when, it's always full, but it never turns away anyone. So the infinite hotel will say that the hotel is completely booked. And then the guest will say, I need a room. So he has a solution. Everyone just moves a room further. So room number 1 goes to room number 2, leaving a space for this apparent character. And it's full again. But there's another dilemma. Maybe another couple of hours, there's an infinite bus with an infinite number of guests. So the manager, because there's an infinite number of guests, basically ask the prime number, room, number 1, and you just multiply it by 2. So number 1 goes to number 2, number 2 goes to number 4, number 4 goes to number 8, number 8 goes to number 16, number million goes to 2 million, and so on and so forth. So it's always full, but it's always infinite. The documentary expresses it better than I did. I'm just really shortening it. So in this expression of infinity, it's unknowable. It's an infinite expressions of this inexpressible infinite expression of the infinite. And there's going to be an infinite ways of expressing this. But what's being expressed here is that even though there's infinite expressions of what cannot be fully expressed, there is this obviousness that it's infinite. There's this undeniability that this is infinity. It doesn't need thought. It doesn't need knowing. It's just this, infinitely expressing as laughing, smiling, air, chairing, everything seemingly full, also empty at the same time. This aliveness. And then that's it. It's just this aliveness and emptiness appearing simultaneously. Nothing to figure out, nothing to know, nothing to know, even point of reference. If we collapse all knowing, all understanding, all words, it's just this. Just this. Lately, seemingly, there seems to be some claims of reaching a final destiny or something more than this. And that's just another infinite expression of infinite. But that seems to be a stuckness. Seems to be a stuckness in infinity. Although that's also another expression of it. There's nothing wrong or right about that. So claiming that non-duality should be this way or not this, or should be this, there's no compromising or uncompromising, it's just a story. It's just a story that it created a special story about a story, expressing a story that cannot be told. So any expression, any story, even special stories about this is a story. Otherwise, it's just stuckness. It's just stuckness. But there's no such thing as stuckness because it's just a story about something that cannot really be told. And what's really clear and obvious here is just the laughter. It's like in this playground of apparent non-duality, some people build sand castles that are better than other sand castles. It's all sand castles, it's all dust, it's all sand. It all collapses. It's all made up. Everything is made up. So what's being expressed here is just this delicious, yummy aliveness that is always this way. And there's nothing outside of this yumminess, this aliveness, this deliciousness. I had a good meal last night. That's why I'm talking about food. and when I was having this meal with an apparent character that came in to talk about non-duality, I just expressed the food. I'm like, oh wow, this is so delicious. It's just an expression of this directness, of this immediacy that cannot really fully be explained. And anyone that gets stuck at bitter will be bitter. Anyone that's stuck is stuck. This is no stuckness at all. This is the ever flowing infiniteness of this expression. And this expression that is so infinitely stunning, there's no one that knows this. There's no one that can claim this. There's no authority. Because any authority or trying to get this is just another story. In the apparent expression of this, the reason I appreciate radical and uncompromising communication is because of the sincerity in it, the directness in it. Not claiming to know, not claiming to have found anything, but the seeing of all of these characters that expressing that there's this aliveness, this jovial laughter that arises from it. There's no more seriousness. Because when it's seen that everything is a story, there's nothing to defend. There's nothing to know. Because this is the immediacy, this is the directness of something that is not anything at all. So while watching this documentary, a whole bunch of this scientists, cosmologists was trying to explain infinity. And I was laughing the whole time because they're trying, it's brilliant. You know, there's really a lot of brilliant people that can express what infinity is. And it's really mind-blowing sometimes. It's kind of like, oh, wow, especially the graphics. You know, I recommend the documentary. It's just, but at the end of it, they came up with nothing. They can't really fully express it. And these are people that have been studying infinity for quite a while. It's their career, numbers, calculus, all of this stuff, cosmology, everything. And they come up with nothing. What I like about this documentary is there's honesty, that it can't be known. It can't be understood. In an infinite expression of this infiniteness, there's this radical, uncompromising honesty that there's nothing that can be figured out. And that's the relaxing part. That's the retirement of seeking something that you will never find, because you will never be able to chase infinity because there's no you that's chasing. There's no you that will get this. Simply there's no you because that is two. Seeking, finding. And it just becomes this hilarious happening, that this is happening and not happening at the same time, but somehow there's this speaking happening. There's no choice in doing this. This is just an appearance, and this appearance collapses into infinity. It is infinity, this appearance. But it can't be known, this appearance. because trying to figuring out is a finite way of explanation of something that is boundless, something that does not have any boundaries. Any knowing or any kind of authority is a boundary. The name of the documentary is called um, A Trip to Infinity. So, in this trip to infinity, there's going to be a lot of I don't know, a lot of wow, this is infinity. Wow, this is unknowable. Wow, this is crazy. Wow, this is stunning. But it can never be understood, it cannot be figured out. We're just here playing, and there's not even players here. So let's play. If you have any questions, please go ahead. Um, thank you. Before I start, there's a birthday person here. Her name is Nancy. Happy birthday, Nancy. Nancy was never born, by the way, but it's just an apparent
No,
birthday.
I was never born, and I'm not having any more birthdays either.
So it's the unbirthday.
It's the unbirthday. Thank you, Emerson.
Oh, thank you, Nancy. I do like the wall. It's kind of cool. What did you eat last night? I had some sushi, really, really nice sushi. I was expecting an infinite questions about infinity, but seems to that I don't have any answer to. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mercy. Oh, thank you, Eliana. Kane goes, infinite silence. Yes. Let's talk a bit about silence then. Silence is often used in this communication, but silence is just not about hearing. It's the silence in understanding, the silence in everything, the silence of what seems to be arising. The silence is so profound that everything that comes up, questions, thoughts, ideas, sensations, gets drowned in silence.
Hey man, how's it going?
Hey,
Fan.
Amarelli. Hey,
Yeah,
hey, from Vancouver.
you know, I was walking in the downtown east side last night,
Oh, yeah.
and something you just said about the silence was it actually reminded me of that walk. Um, I feel like the silence and the emptiness are actually really apparent and
Yes.
obvious. I thought everyone, I thought everyone knew that, or everyone felt that, and that's okay if they did or didn't, apparently. Um, but yeah, it's actually all out there. It's kind of like the seeking energy is apparently an avoidance somehow out of innocence. It's not like a bad
Mm,
thing. It just
yes.
kind of is. And it's actually nice to see, but like against the backdrop of that silence,
Mm.
it's, it's beautiful in a way.
Isn't it? It's beautiful,
Yeah,
huh?
it
It's
actually
so
is.
stunning, isn't it? Just the silence of everything.
It's not that great though. Like it's beautiful, it's free. It's just it's okay.
It's
It's
okay.
so
Thanks for
yeah,
the honesty.
it's definitely empty.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I like our last talk. That was wow. Our last talk was wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like an apparent waiting here for and like no one's waiting. Because really, like I actually see why people say apparently and no one's doing anything because actually it's real.
Mm,
Um there's like an apparent waiting for this experience to be better or more filled with love or something. Doesn't always happen. Most of the time it doesn't, but the uncompromising freedom which you speak about,
mm,
definitely real. Like
yes.
the and it's not a matter of anything being real, but it's yeah, like when the story drops off
Mm,
or when you're not there or no
mm,
one's there, so much bullshit is just quieted, and then that's when the
yes.
silence can be apparently seen.
Yes.
um it's just that over here, it's not that it's not fun. It's not like a good time. It's just
Yes.
the emptiness of it all is, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know, but like social interaction and seeing other people and seeing a parent seeking and a parent people going by their day and a parent holding on to things really tightly, or
Yeah.
that's all cool. That's all
Yes.
really cool to see. Yeah.
I'm glad that you're seeing silence now.
It's more apparent when you're apparently you are literally away from noise. So if you're walking like at 2 a.m. in some empty street corner, it kind
Yeah.
of helps.
What were you doing at 2 o'clock in the downtown east side? I'm just joking.
Yeah. Good question.
I know that area.
Yeah. Thanks for your, thanks for your talks, man. It's really poetic. It's really cool.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Amirali. It's always excellent talking to you.
You too, man.
Yeah,
You're awesome.
you too. Thank you. Does Emerson have any thoughts? There's no Emerson, so there are no thoughts. But it doesn't really matter if thoughts arise or not, since it's not thought about anymore. There is a lot of silence, overwhelming silence. Sometimes they're sitting here for hours and just luxuriating in silence. But also, there's also watching Netflix, watching documentaries, like I mentioned, about infinity. And there's a lot of wow. So it's retired. There's no one here, so there's no seeking. There's just contentment and enjoyment of what seems to be appearing. If this became popular and went on TV, do you think it'll get canceled? Not sure. I don't know. I don't think this would become popular. I thought before that they would become popular, but I'm with Tony here. This is so very almost very underground that There's it's not as pop, it might have spikes here and there's a popularity, but seemingly this is not an attractive communication. It doesn't instruct anyone, it doesn't acknowledge anyone, it doesn't get anyone anywhere because there's no one to get anywhere. This is just the clarity that there's nothing needed, that there's nothing that is wanted or unwanted. It's just an appearance. So I don't think that will be popular if there's no advertisement about a greater thing or whatever. It's just the radical honesty that whatever it is infinitely appearing as this, and there's nothing outside of this, and there's nothing to attain, there's nothing to abide in or anything like that, because this is what is, and this is not two. This is not about separation. This is not about specialness. So when it's not about specialness, of course it's not going to be popular.
Another thing is that the seeking energy is an avoidance. And so it's like a
Seemingly,
head
seemingly, yeah.
seemingly an avoidance. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're um like, I don't know, advertising this, but there's no advertising this, but this is kind of a kick in the balls to fucking every to, to
That it
all the
is.
yeah, to all the seeking. And yeah, like who would this be popular for? If this is apparently gotten, which is actually gotten by stop trying so hard and stop asking questions, which it's fine. I mean, that happens of its own.
Mm.
Um, then what's the point of talking? Like, what's the point of setting up a
Oh
TV
yeah,
program?
yeah,
The fact
yeah.
that the fact that that's happening on over there with you is awesome because like it helps. It's kind of nice that there's like other people like this because like there's
Mm-hmm.
still that wanting of like social interaction in a way,
Mm.
seemingly
Yeah.
it's nice. It's definitely cool, but a TV show would be sick. It happened. I don't know what it would be about. it'd
Nothing.
be like it'd be like how was your day today?
It'll be like a hyper reality show where nothing is happening. It's just shots of chairs,
Shots of chairs. Yeah, dude.
carpets,
Mhm,
sofas without anyone in it. Um,
mhm. That's heavy. I looked that up last night. I was watching a nature documentary with like no, it was on YouTube. It was like top 10 events caught on camera, like the coolest things ever. And I was wondered if this would be so sick if the animals were gone and it was just the scene moving slowly to the left or to the right.
Hey Emerson, can you talk about that film that you talked with Jonathan about the cameras? Just watch it. It's a film called Holy Mountain. It's a really trippy psychedelic film about an apparent archetype of like a messiah, and yeah, but it's a really trippy '70s film, and it's quite a nice watch actually. It's really out there. Have you seen it, Emerelli?
Yeah, I watched the first 20 minutes.
Okay.
Anyone who wants, it's free on Google. You just type in full video. It was trippy. I had school, so I wasn't ready for it. But you know what? I'm gonna watch it after this. It was. I wonder if that guy made other films.
He did other films that were very surreal. Um,
Cool.
yeah, I can't remember the names of it, but it's in Spanish usually. But what I like about the Holy Mountain, there's not a lot of dialogues, just a lot of disturbing visuals.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, Jonathan goes, I tried to watch it, but it was too crazy for me. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is very
Yeah.
crazy.
Crazy. Crazy. It's not, you don't watch that with your parents.
No. It's not a date movie. It's not a Netflix and chill kind of movie.
Imagine though.
Jonathan goes, but I'm loving Confessions of a Seeker. Yes, I love that book. I love that book. It's by Richard Sylvester.
It's kind of nice how there's no questions because it kind of gives the impression that everyone gets it.
It's already done.
Yeah.
Can you talk about staring at walls for 6 hours? LOL. um, this it's just stunning obviousness that nothing's happening, that it's just all silence, that it's just this it's beautiful just to luxuriate in it, although not trying to, because it's always this. So sometimes I will walk, and with my dog and just sit down and then just beautiful. Sometimes, like sometimes I stare at trees. I know some people that have this apparent undoing, usually stare at trees for hours. It's just captivated by the simplicity, the almost just this drowning emptiness in seeing something, and without any explanations, without any words, without anything, just silence. But it's not productive. You can't upload videos and all that kind of stuff. um, Hi, you say that there's no Emerson, but it is not kind of energy which is expressed through you that we call then Emerson. No, there's no separate energy or source energy or an Emerson that just comes. This is not channeling or transmission or abidance or anything like that. This is just the naturalness of this appearance without any definition, without any identification, because identification just comes as this illusion, an idea, a thought. So the directness in this communication is that there's never been anyone here. There's always no one here. So it's also an end to specialness, an end to teaching, the end to guruship. It's just this boundless energy that's appearing out of nowhere. That's even saying too much. There's just this aliveness, this passion in talking about nothing for hours and hours and hours. It's just whole, because the moment that there is an Emerson, it's a separation. There's just this wholeness.
Dude, I apparently watched this video last night
Which one?
and it was like you see the earth and then it pans out. No, it actually starts on ground level and then you pan out to the earth and it just keeps going outwards. And then at the end of the video, it's just, you know how they say on the edge, there's acceleration into, I don't know, constantly accelerating into nothing. That's how the video ended.
Yes, I love those videos. It's the insignificance of the character when the whole picture is this grand illusion of space, time, universe, Earth, and that's
Mm,
illusory. And then somehow the character is so entrapped, in the illusion of the character. When there's this grand illusion that's happening, colors, sounds, sights, oceans, mountains, planets. Wow.
yeah. Those videos might be the closest conceptual, like mental um thing that gets to this. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it yeah, I can see that because it just keeps on panning out and it's nothing really.
Yeah.
Thank you. Charles Kuhn goes, wholeness appearing as stories. Yes. Wholeness appearing as stories of separation, wholeness appearing stories about sushi, wholeness appearing stories as whatever. So this is wholeness, just an appearance of whatever it is. Hey, Steve.
Hi, Emerson.
Hi.
Um, I kind of get the nature thing.
Mm,
Uh, but let me tell you,
yes, go ahead.
when your TV set, your set-top box doesn't work, and you spend hours on the line with
The
the
cable company.
provider trying to get it straight, and then the next day a technician comes in, a very nice technician who's very knowledgeable, and gets it going again. That's a wow.
Yes. Totally, totally. So I'm beginning to download, like 4K, videos, right? Because it's
Mhm.
bigger file. And so I switched, internet providers to be able to, because it would take like 3-4 hours just to upload one video. When I went to my brother's house and they have that, 8 gigabit, like internet. When it downloaded for less than 2 minutes, I was like, wow. That's that's the wow. It's not just it's the unconditional wow in seemingly the most ordinary things like the TV or the internet cable or the nature, right? Or
Right.
sometimes, it's I can sit in silence, for 6 hours or so, but I can also sit, in silence watching Jeffrey Dahmer, 10 episodes of a serial killer, and then also go, wow, it's the same thing. There's just the
Yes.
sameness in what seems to be. So if it's silent, if it's loud, it's in the downtown east side walking, if it's a buffet, or if it's the grumbling of your stomach that you're really hungry, it's what is. It's aliveness appearing as whatever. It could appear as this wow, your TV is fixed, or it could be hunger. It could be hunger. It's a wow.
Mhm.
It's gonna like, oh wow, I'm really hungry. It's in everything. It's in everything. So if it's in everything, it doesn't have to be focused on because it's in everything. It's appearing as everything. So there's just this full on aliveness.
But somehow,
Hmm.
even as you under even as there's understanding of it, I'm going to say understanding,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For
even
sure.
as even as that's understood,
Yeah, it's missed.
that other stuff comes in, the next thing comes in, and
Yes.
it's forgotten.
Yes.
It's like, what was that about?
Yes, it's like the infinite and full at the same time, like the infinite hotel paradox. I really like that the way that they interpret it. There's always this infiniteness, but it's always full. It's always full. And then there's a paradox, and there's just this overworking creativity on how to let another idea in about infinity. It can never be understood. It's always going to be this infiniteness about what we're talking about. And then someone will say the TV thing. So you move the other room, you know what I'm saying? And then there's this infinite TV story about it. So stories,
Right.
it's infinite stories on top of infinite stories that seemingly is always full, alive, but it's also infinitely empty at the same time. That's the wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks.
Thank you. Paulette goes, do you also watch horror thrillers? Yes. I just said that the Jeffrey Dahmer, which is basically a horror show. Yeah. Hey, Kathy.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. How about you? Good? You do? You? Yeah.
Woohoo!
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 Yeah, just wanted to say, well, appreciate the silence
Mm.
because it can be taken away in a moment
That's what's seen,
with
though.
something.
That's what's seen, though.
Excuse-
Go ahead, sir. Keep on going. Sorry.
No, I said with something as innocuous as a vaccine.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, this is my story, but
Yeah. No worries. No
Yeah.
worries. Yeah.
tinnitus,
Yeah. Yes.
ENT 4 times.
Oh, wow.
Final diagnosis, there's something wrong with there's a short circuit in your brain.
Oh.
There's never ever total silence ever.
Yeah, anything that we talk
Yeah.
about here is not really fully expressing what's being expressed, because even using the word silence clouds it, right? It's just the clarity that
Yeah.
everything is empty, but that's even saying too much, right? So it's not the silence as an
Yeah, but-
auditory thing. It's the seeing the silence. It's tasting the silence. It's embracing the silence, although there's no one there. Silence as wholeness.
But the auditory silence is so powerful too.
Oh, totally. Oh, totally.
Oh,
Totally.
wow, auditory silence, and
It's-
and it can only be in certain places where you have the auditory
Or a
silence.
really,
'Cause there's
or a really,
always-
or a really good noise canceling
Or-
headphones will do it too.
yeah,
Have you had those
Yep.
noise canceling?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
No, I haven't, but there'd be just even, whatever, locked in a room somewhere, whatever. It's just
I get you. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
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 So it's just a story, like everything, just a story. So
Everything. Yeah.
mhm.
So
Mhm.
what?
So what? Yes, so what? It's not that bad. It's like wind blowing. I mean, some people get all kinds of crazy stuff I've been reading.
Mm.
So it's not so bad. It's like constantly on a beach somewhere and the wind is blowing.
Yeah. I did have
It's all right.
an eardrum burst one time, and that was probably one of the most
Ooh.
painful thing. I don't know if you've had that. When
No,
you're,
but
Ooh,
it's painful.
it's painful, and especially
Excruciating.
did I DJ, right? So I was
What was
out
that?
of
The
commission.
DJ?
No, it was just an ear infection. That
Oh,
I can't remember it much, but I remember the pain. The pain was
oh,
very, very. It's like, yeah.
yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Especially for a DJ. Oh my gosh. Could really, hold things back. Yeah.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Emerson.
Harvey. Hey, Harvey.
Hey,
Good to see
Emerson.
you.
I know. I'm usually working at this time, so I listen, but I can't always be on video. But first of all, that was a great intro. And one of the things after that it reminded me of is, if you can guys see it, the Holy Mountain.
Yeah, you have it.
Oh yeah,
Excellent.
I have it. So
Yeah.
I wanted to share something about it because it
Yeah.
reminded me. I've actually seen it about at least 15 times.
Oh, wow.
And the first, and a lot of El Topo and all
The
of
El
his
Topo. Yeah. Yeah.
different movies. And I first saw the Holy Mountain. I actually saw it in a theater in New York City, and I was tripping on acid. And
Excellent.
I actually saw it a couple of times with people tripping on acid. And one of the things I wanted to share was, at least while tripping, and I've seen it without tripping, but it's like all these appearances keep showing up. There's an immediacy of appearances.
Mm.
Okay. And there's no real commentating, because by the time you commentate, if you were tell a story, it's on to the next appearance.
Yes.
But at the end of the Holy Mountain, without giving it or making it a spoiler, it really tells you something about the nature of stories and illusion.
Yes.
And at the very end, and I actually look back at this, and that movie it has a real profoundness
It does.
to it. But at the same time, I realize a lot of people might be put off by it or the story. And even in El Topo, have you seen El Topo?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've seen all of his movies, including the documentary about him trying to make Dune.
Yeah, I have all his. People can actually see. You can get it's in a box. You can buy all the movies. I have it all.
Wow.
But there is a real, in a sense, whatever you think is going to happen or should happen or whatever, it all breaks apart in the movies.
It does, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'm glad that you have you like these kind of movies as well. It's
I
really
love these
really
kind of movies.
disturbing, you know. But I liked it because you didn't need any drugs to watch it. It's just
That's true. And eventually, after I'd seen it a couple times while tripping, and then, but then to see it when I wasn't tripping, but in a way, it is kind of like you're going either wow or oh my god or whatever. But it's a wonderful. I thought it was wonderful because it sort of breaks down. I don't know, like your conditioning of thinking how things should be,
yes.
and then it's just is what it is.
It's definitely a disruptor, kind of like a film. It disrupts, you know, whatever process of thinking or whatever. It's one of those, and especially the ending, which was kind of like I watched it several times to watch the ending. I would go through the whole film and watch the ending. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, and that ending really, I mean, in a way, the ending, it just really is, it's a real reminder that when you really think you know what's going on, they're just stories.
Yes, yes.
And
yeah.
So anyway, I wanted to share that.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much, Harvey.
All right.
And then watch the documentary that I mentioned.
I've already looked it up on Netflix. So.
All right. Hi, Shai.
I watched the movies you recommended last week as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Harvey. Hey, Shai.
Hey, Emerson.
Hello.
Hello, 60 consciousnesses on the screen. Good to be here. My first time at these Zooms. It's awesome. Love it.
Awesome. Welcome. Welcome to
nothing. I can tell you that I know about Tony for like 5 or 6 years. I heard about him from I used to have a Reiki teacher. She told me about Tony Parsons. and at one point I wanted to go to London to the physical meetings like a couple of years back.
Yeah.
When I was in London, I was in like a business trip and it never happened.
Oh.
But now those are in Zoom. So I actually I recently I was just trying to figure out my sleep schedule, and I slept for a few days, like trying to like just and I looked on YouTube, like, okay, relax, nothing is under control, and I found Noel's videos, and I've been like listening to them on a loop while like sleeping or just like chilling in my bed. It was so great. And then I was like, oh, what is this? Oh, Tony Parsons, Non-Duality. Oh yeah, I know about this.
Nice.
So I put it on my calendar too. to join you guys.
Yeah, I think he has live meetings now. So if you're are you in London right now, Shai?
No, I was in London on a trip. I'm not in London at
Oh,
all.
okay,
I
okay.
split my time between Montreal and Tel Aviv. So those
Are
are
you
the places.
are you in Montreal right now?
Right now, yes. Yeah.
I'm
Right
gonna
now, I'm
be
in
in
Montreal.
Montreal in 3 weeks.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's connect for
Yeah,
sure,
yeah,
for
yeah, for
sure.
sure.
My parents, they live in Montreal, so
Awesome.
my parents
Awesome.
play.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking
Um,
forward to
yeah.
it's
What's that?
No, I said I'm looking forward to the talks there. It's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah. Do you have like an event?
It's a 3-day thing. Yeah, it's just like this, but with for 3 days.
And
Live,
is it like
just a lot
both
of
online
laughing.
and in person?
It's in
What's that?
person. It's most likely just going to be in person, but I'm not sure if it's going to be online.
Or maybe I'll attend the whole thing. I don't know. Like 3 days is a long. It's a lot to take out of the schedule.
It's
But
nothing.
maybe I'll attend the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Awesome, Shai. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I can talk for hours, so
that's no problem at all.
The next person can come in if they want. There's a lot of life experiences to share and a lot of teachings that I've went through, and I love meditating. I love Sadhguru and doing his Shambhavi. I did transcendental meditation since I was 13. Like at 13, I opened
Nice. Well,
meditation.
this one is the this disruptor of all of that. This is the clarity that nothing is needed. Even if you're meditating, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But nothing is this communication is that it's already whatever it is. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like if I'm feeling uncomfortable in my body, this is my last piece of my puzzle.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, external reality, okay, I'll deal with that. Things will happen. Can I share? I want to share something.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So I'm originally from Ukraine, so I speak both Russian and don't really speak Ukrainian because I left when I was 3.
Okay.
I was born in Lviv and I left when I was 3. So I understand Russian.
Oh,
and
wow.
I follow the war in Ukraine through Telegram channels.
Yeah.
Where they actually take videos from the battle scene, like both the Ukrainian and the Russian side.
Yeah.
Take like action videos of like firefights, bombing each other, talking about, so I see both sides, you know what I mean? And also like I grew up in Israel, so conflict there as well.
Oh, wow.
So experiencing conflict, it's like thinking about this conflict. In the past few days, I started like feeling like the whole world is part of, you know what I mean? The whole world's part of me. Like, so right now there's Ukraine, there's Russia, there's a war, there's the pain of it. And I support Ukraine personally, but it's like, but at the same time, it's also like taking a higher view of everything that's going on, understanding it better, like the dynamics, the conflict that's happening. It's the conflict, that if you look at it from like a higher perspective, it's the conflict that's going on. There are reasons for the conflict. Whatever the reasons are, whoever you blame, doesn't matter. There's like shooting on both sides.
In this illusory appearance, everything is a conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I mean, if my blood is boiling for whichever side or whatever, you could experience that emotion and let it like.
It is what it is. It is what it is. That's what's appearing. Yeah. There's nothing wrong or right about if your blood is boiling. It's just what is. Everything is already complete as it is. So this is the end of improving situations which you don't have any control of. It's just seeing as it is. So that's when it's expressed that this is the peace that cannot be that doesn't have to be maintained because it's always peace and whatever seems to be appearing in clash, conflicts, all that kind of in the midst of war, in the midst of chaos. There's always peace. There's always this knowability of what seems to be happening, and there's this known thing that's happening. So it blurs the idea of what is and what is not. So it's just seen as it is, and there's just almost kind of like a letting go of control of what's going on, And then when there is this apparent seeing that I don't have any control or there's no one controlling this, it's just happening. It's like watching a horrific kind of like horror movie or something that it feels absolutely real. You know, you're scared, you know, like something that's really, it affects you, but it's also does not affect you because there's no one watching it. It's just the whole seeing of everything.
Here's the thing. The shy person could, if he wanted to, go join either of those sides and fight if you wanted to, like right now, tomorrow.
Yeah, totally. But he will not have any control of that.
Right.
He will not have any choice of that. It's just what's happening. You know, if it joins Ukraine or Russia, there's nothing wrong or right with both.
So what I did
it's just
last
what's
night,
occurring. Go ahead.
There's a video of a Russian commentator explaining to the Russians, don't go to don't be drafted. Don't get drafted. Basically, like whoever thinking about get drafted, just avoid all these drafters. Don't go to these centers. And I've been sending this video to my Russian friends because that's the only thing I can conceive that I could do that would actually make a difference. If somebody's thinking in their minds, because on the Russian side, there's people who are like, yeah, we're gonna whatever. I'm like, no, you're not. You're not gonna. That's not the right way to think right now. I mean, they're thinking it. I'm watching them thinking it, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, if my friend were to think that way, I would just send him a video being like, dude, don't. Okay?
Yeah, and that's just what's happening. There's no one that's doing it.
Right.
There's no one actually that's even being sent to
even
it.
that is right. Even that seems to be like, okay, this is the only thing
but
I
if
can
that's
do.
what's happening, that's awesome. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. There's no way of controlling or changing any of that anyway. And
even what I think is my freaking decision. Okay, this is what I could actually do about this. No, this is what you think. You're like, that is also part of like the whole thing. That's not. I get it, but I don't get it.
When it's seen that you are completely powerless, that's unconditional freedom.
Right.
When it's seen that there's no power in any of your decision making or any, and that's when everything kind of like collapses. You're like, whoa, wait like, a second. Yeah, it's the radical surrender of no one. It's a surrender that there's no one choosing to do or not to do any of this. It's just an appearance of what seems to be happening.
Yeah,
and
the no one part is a problem for me. Like, like, okay,
totally.
Consciousness is here. I feel conscious. I'm feeling consciousness. I'm centered around this one body.
Let's
right?
even take
In
the
my
word.
body,
Let's even
myself.
take the word. Let's even take the word consciousness out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let's just take any concept of anything at all. What's appearing here is just this. Let's just call it aliveness. This alive empty. It doesn't have any controller. It's not separate from you. It's not. You know, the moment that you talk about consciousness, it's almost like there's this consciousness and I'm here. So how do I get to consciousness? Well, there's no you and there's no consciousness. This is just the alert, alive, enthusiastic.
Is there an experience though?
No.
There's no experience even?
No.
So what's going on? What's going on right now?
There's just this appearance that doesn't have a source. This is an appearance that doesn't have a source that feels absolutely real. So it's the real and real appearance. And the moment that you say that there's someone, that's separation already. The moment that you say that, how do I get to that experience or an experiencer, that's separation already. So in the absence of the experiencer and the absence of what you're conscious of, because that's separation, or what you're aware of, the absence of you, basically, there's just this aliveness that is this
That's
mystery.
A step further, because consciousness, like there was, I'm not going to say but there was the impression or the belief that consciousness exists.
Exactly. That's what it is. It's just a belief.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for blowing my mind. Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate that. I'm not gonna have to. There's gonna be some processes. Are there processes thinking about?
No. When it's blown, it's blown. No need to pick up the pieces. It's gone. When there's no mind, it's just this.
Okay. There's no sound even to the blowing. Like there's
no. It's gone. He was never there in the first place.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I'm out of words. I'm just gonna deal with that for a bit. I guess
Alright.
there will be some being with that for a bit, apparently.
There are no beings. Okay.
There are no beings. I don't believe there's something that says that. I don't believe that, but okay.
That's a belief as well.
Right. Nice. This is radical. You know, the song comes up, so you want a revolution? Well, you know. Okay, Beatles.
Beatles. That's Beatles. Yeah.
Yeah, Beatles. Okay, well, I mean, we can go on, but I think I got my dose of was it Harvey that said like, oh, acid? This is good acid.
Yeah. Do you want another tab? I'm just joking.
What's that?
I said, do you
Do
want
I want
another
a what?
tab? Another tab.
Sure, go ahead.
So everything
I don't
that
mind.
you know is unknown.
Uh-huh.
Anything that arises is unknown. The knowing tries to know the unknown to make sense of any of this, but it can never be known because there's no knower.
There's no nowhere.
There's no knower. Yeah. So this is all automatically happening by itself, without a source, without any kind of consciousness or awareness or whatever. It's not complicated at all. So there's this movement, there's this visual and auditory appearance of something that feels absolutely real, but it's very similar to a dream, which basically means that it's not happening at all.
But there is an appearance.
There's an appearance. This feels kind of like when you're dreaming at night. When you're dreaming at night, the appearance feels real. And then the moment that you apparently wake up, although there's no you to wake up, there's just this dissolving of everything. You're like, oh.
Okay, is there any dissolving of everything in this appearance?
Is there any what? Sorry?
A dissolving of everything in this appearance.
Well, everything already dissolved. This is already done.
But there's still the appearance.
There's an appearance, yeah. It's an appearance, like an illusion, like an apparition, like a mirage. When you see a mirage, it feels absolutely real. Like there's water on the road.
So is
it's not real.
If eyes close, okay, then suddenly there's much less of an appearance.
Yeah, but that's also an appearance. The eyes closed.
Right. So the appearance of eyes closed, there is an appearance of body sensation. There's a dimension of sensation.
That's just
right?
appearing automatically as stories. There's really no body.
Yeah, but there's an appearance of a body sensation. Like there's like if I
oh yeah. As I said, this feels absolutely real. This feels absolutely real. It's if I pick up a glass, there's separation here. I'm holding a glass. There's coldness in the glass, and it feels absolutely real. But kind of like in a nighttime dream, everything that feels absolutely real is also an unhappening, meaning that it's done already. It's a dream. Nothing really happened.
Okay, what if I tell you
that
what's going on right now in this appearance is making it easier and better or more pleasant for the appearance?
That's just an appearance as well. Yeah. That's just what seems to appear.
Because what seems to appear is the character saying, "Okay, this is good for us. This is relaxing. This is nice.
But
this
there's no
is
such
like
thing
pleasant."
there's no such thing as good or bad or pleasant or unpleasant because it's just an appearance. But if it seems that way, then cool.
Okay.
It feels real. So it feels real nice. It feels real whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's the unreal and real happening simultaneously. Without
it's like if there was a door, and on one door, like if you go to the right, you get tortured.
Yeah.
That would be one appearance. You go to the left door, and it's all like, I don't know, a big orgy.
If there was a choice, everybody will choose orgy, but there's no choice. So sometimes it gets tortured because this is, you know what I'm saying?
But the torture is horrible, right? I mean, obviously, I mean, but
Oh
it's,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not.
It's all an appearance, right? So in the appearance, in the apparent appearance of a chooser, it will seemingly choose orgy over torture. But sometimes in the appearance, there's people that like torture over orgy.
It's a kink of theirs.
Yeah.
They go join the army. Fight the other side. Okay.
But all of them are equal appearances. No
Oh,
door
by
is
the way,
better.
another cool thing
Yeah.
to think about is like in quantum reality. I mean, this is all just experience. I know, like,
Yeah.
let's roll back a little bit, a few levels
Yeah,
down.
for sure, for sure.
In quantum reality, let's say like you go into a car and the car drives you. So if you think about it, there's no proof that reality exists outside like the experience and the appearance, right?
Yes.
I mean, if I were to fly to Ukraine right now and go fight, then I would walk into an airplane. It's like in those movies, the Truman Show, like everything is staged kind of thing.
Yeah. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that, but that's saying too much. Everything is like an illusion. It's like a hologram, and you only interact. Everyone that you will interact with is a hologram. So there's no one behind any of the eyes that you're speaking to, and there's no one behind your eyes because you're also a hologram. So a hologram will not figure out it's a hologram because it's in a hologram. The whole thing is a hologram, and that's saying too much, right? No programming.
So the hologram, I mean, like the mind will not figure this out, but
because the mind is a hologram as well.
But right now the mind is accepting this. So what's going on here?
That's just another idea. That's just another belief that it's accepting this. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. You can go on. I mean, I don't mind. This feels like an orgy. Sorry. There's blushing. Okay.
I should put up a PG, rating on this.
Yeah. I'm looking at two screens here, or whatever. There's an appearance of the website and the clouds and like the mountains, and it's beautiful.
Nice. It's beautiful, isn't it? Right? Stunning. Yeah. It's just what is. Everything without a chooser or a thinker or a knower or an experiencer is just this directness, and it's so stunningly obvious that there's nothing behind anything. And when there's nothing behind anything, then there's wholeness. There's just this wholeness of disappearance. Trying to figure it out, trying to get to somewhere, our illusions of avoiding wholeness, completeness.
The character says, what if I don't keep doing my to-do list?
Well, there's no one choosing to do or not to do the to-do list.
Right.
There's no doer.
Mm-hmm. There's no doer.
Happen? Yeah, there's no doer.
It's either gonna happen or not.
Exactly.
Or it's gonna be procrastinated upon until it happens.
That can happen too.
Okay, interesting.
All right.
So it doesn't matter how much money is gonna be made.
It doesn't really. It doesn't really matter.
This is great. We can go on. I mean, who cares? Like, right? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. There's some feeling of pressure being like, okay, I'm being impolite, taking up other people's time because
there's no other people here.
There's
no other people here.
There's 56 other appearance.
There's none actually.
There aren't any 56 other appearances. Wait, is here saying here and saying now?
It's just a word. It's just a word. It's just a word. I can say in Jupiter. It's just a word. It doesn't really matter. There's no here and there. There's no here and there. It's just words, and these words are seemingly coming out. They're really meaningless and pointless. There's just this this boundless appearance of whatever. In the infinite expression of infinity, it's going to appear like Shy talking to Emerson. In the infinite expression of infinity, there's going to be nodding, appearing. So there's this infinite paradox that this is always infinity, but it's always full.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is great. This is just so good, so good, so good. I mean, I'm sorry to be fighting that the fact that it's not so good, but it's just it is just is. So Emerson retreat. Check this out.
In Montreal, yeah.
4 days, 12 sessions. Is that one?
Oh no, it's just 3 days.
So I go to events and passes.
Yeah.
And next weekend, June. Oh, what? It's not.
Oh, maybe
updated?
that's. We'll talk about that later, Shai. That's okay. You can call me up. I have my phone number on the email, or you can Zoom me, whatever. We'll talk about it. If the obliteration of the belief system is what is longed for.
I think so. I think so. Well, I don't think so.
Okay. And that
Well,
too.
I'll private message you, okay?
Okay. Thank you, Shai. Awesome.
Thank you, Emerson.
Amirali.
Yo.
Yo.
Yeah, man. Shy, you're pretty cool, man. You know what's funny? I remember like a while ago, I was reading Plato's dialogue, and then they were talking about Socratic questioning and how apparently important it is, and it does like apparently serve a purpose, because through Socratic questioning you can kind of get past emotion and kind of get to a rational understanding of a topic without getting lost in personal stories. But the thing is, that doesn't apply here, and I noticed that myself. Like everything is a story.
Ta-da.
Everything. Like, Shai, much love. Whatever you just said didn't happen. Like the Ukraine, the Russia, nothing happened. And that's the radicalness of this message. And it's kind of cool. I kind of almost there's almost like an envy, or not even envy, there's almost kind of like a wish over here that I could engage in like that kind of conversation still. But like the fundamental aspect of this message is that this is death. that's not a light. This is not light. I mean, this is death. Everything's a story. There is no you. And those three.
And all of that are all stories as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, but it's like there's also this apparent innocence.
It's all innocent. It's all innocently dead. Anything that arises is just this disappearance of something that seems to be happening, seems to feel absolutely real. There's this felt sense of realness, but that is also a complete apparition, a complete illusion. And it's a complete felt sense of realness. It's also a complete illusion, seemingly appearing simultaneously. So it's not decoding. It can't be decoded. It can't be separated. It's just what seems to be going on. What seems to be going on is valid. It's accepted, but it's also seen as not going on. It's mind-blowing when there's no mind. There's a couple of questions here. When there's a seeming person contracted energy, does it perceive the appearance at its held beliefs story until it doesn't? And when there's so-called clarity, when there is this seeming identification of I am special or I'm not special, which is both an identity, there seems to be a belief system, that, so the character, the identity is basically a belief system. And then there's a belief sometimes that when this apparent appearance disappears, or when the unknowing happens, that there's going to be this should be this way or that. But all of this is a belief system. There's no me and there's no me. There's no person and there's no person. There's no self or self. It's just all belief systems. So when this collapses, this belief of this or that, or a self or no self, or a contracted or uncontracted, when it's just this emptiness, there's just this openness, which we call sometimes clarity. And that clarity, everything is allowed, but no one is allowed. Meaning that identity or identification is not, doesn't appear. Everything is allowed, but there's no one that's allowing it. There's no gatekeeper. There's no control. It's just this stunning obviousness that everything is have always been free. Ilio goes, hello, Emerson. What do you see as no person is only another possibility, or is it a kind of true? There's no one actually even seeing here. There's no particular independent Emerson or a separate Emerson that sees here. So this possibility that's being expressed here is whole. So the other possibility, there's really no one here. There's no one behind here. There's no one behind the questions. There's no one looking. You're not being looked at. This is just the wholeness appearing as this possibility of separation of an Emerson or a no Emerson. So what's being expressed is this is the impossibility appearing as a possibility. Are you going to upload this talk to YouTube? It was amazing, mate. Yes. My apologies. I'm in the midst of changing my internet, and they keep on taking it's a fiber optic, so they have to I think it's going to be super fast. So I have tons and tons of videos that I still have to upload, and I just increased the quality to 4K because a couple of people said that when we put your YouTube on, a lot of people I guess watches this on TV. Do you guys watch this on TV? It's fine with phones or devices like laptop, but when it goes to a big screen TV, it's not as clear. So I started the last videos anyway of making them 4K, meaning that it's about 20 to 30 gigabytes of upload, which is like 10 times of what I usually upload, but the upload speed is also really slow. So, but I'll release it. I know that there's a lot of videos that I have not released. Like, I think the last 4 Fridays of these videos are, and then I have a lot of meetings too that have not been released, but it will get there. And then later on in the apparent time will be 8K videos. So, so these videos without the conversion to 4K will be unwatchable, I guess, for apparent TV.
Hey man,
Hey.
I was wondering, like,
hey, Emerson.
There's an apparent shittiness at nighttime. Does that ever happen? Does that ever happen with you?
Everything is allowed. It's shitty or shifty. It's the same shit. It's not about a particular kind of like, again, in this infinite expression of infinity, it's going to appear as shitty, but it's not always going to be that way. Everything seems to be moving, but it's also still at the same time, right? So it's the stuckness, for example, is what I was talking about earlier, that this is not a preset. This is not a condition. This is not a final, a finality, because there's nothing final. We're talking about the infiniteness here, the openness to whatever seems to be happening. In this openness of whatever seems, it could be shitty, but at the same time, it's also peaceful. It's also clear that that it's just what's happening. So there's no trying to change that or anything, because there's no one that can change that. If it's shitty at night, it's shitty at night until it's not.
Cool.
And it's just this it's just the naturalness without a chooser, without, and that's why there's this unconditional freedom. There's a contentment here of what seems to be occurring is just what is. It's empty. It's nothing at all. Even if it feels so freaking intense, right? I was on the way. I went for dinner with a friend, and and I saw someone arguing. And there's a lot of question about this. There's someone arguing, and I saw this guy punching a female, right? So I got out of the car right away. Sure. Alexa, stop. So I got out of the car. I got out of the car right away. You know what I'm saying? And I said, "Hey, man," and and
it's so automatic.
It's an automatic appearance, right? And it's just, and then luckily the guy goes, sorry, and I basically asked her, "Are you okay? Do you want to go to the police or something?" And then she basically said, "Thank you for doing that. I have someone on the way to help me." I'm like, "I'll wait with you." And it's just this automatic, it's not like, oh, that's really emptiness appearing as someone beating up someone. There is this natural, compassion or care, you know what I'm saying, a reaction, in what seems to be happening around. It's not a denial, right? It's not a denial. So that was really shitty. Shitty, right? So I waited, and this the guy that was kind of like punching her was walking around. I'm like, and I basically said, should I call the police? I can call the police right now, right? And then the victim said, "Why don't we do that? Because my person's not coming here." So I stayed for an hour and a half, expressing what I witnessed and everything, and that's what's happening. There's this aliveness to this, right? It's not a denial of that. It's not a denial of your humanity. If it's shitty, it's shitty, right? It's shitty. Like, walking in the downtown East Side. When I used to do that before, I would end up giving food for people, right? Because it's shitty. But before I did it with the selfless service kind of like badge, you know what I'm saying? Ended up doing selfless service. Now there's no one doing it anymore. So there's no waiting for reward, or it's not about. It's just what is. It's just what's happening. Or if I choose to walk away, that's also what is.
Dude, I think like part of this, whatever, is there's like this low-key resentment at losing. Like, I wasn't even ready for this. Like, I'm literally 25. I live on a university where there's kids having fun, and then
and then you are talking to this character about nothing.
It's like it's like there's an apparent missing of, or an apparent idea that there's still some kind of seeking. There's still some kind of.
What's wrong with that?
Because it's never gonna come back. Like, it's never gonna. It's kind of done in a way. Like, it's kind of
it's already seen, right? It's when I got your email, it's like, okay. And then when we did the Zoom, I was like, okay, it's almost like an unfolding now, right? It's almost like a grieving of what was held onto. It's like a grieving. Although there's no process, there seems to be a grieving sometimes when everything that you held onto, and then the life that you seemingly thought that you had is collapsed.
And there's kind of a fear a little bit where it's like, who the fuck would want to be around me? Like, but it's funny. It's funny because like there's no you, and so things just apparently happen. Like, I'm like, okay, the ones who love you stay. It's all the same. Like, nothing actually changes.
There's actually no one out there too. So it's just seen as complete, meaning that there's no one here longing for others. But seemingly there's a fullness in this apparent life. I have my mom, I have my brothers, my sister, my little doggy, my high school friends. What seemed to have vanished is a lot of my spiritual friends because they have different opinion. And then of course I have this apparent, characters that come here that I love talking to in the breakout room, and it's just wonderful, right? Initially, in the apparent dropping away of the character, there was this uncertainty, of course, because everything that you believe, everything that you know, seemed to have collapsed, right? It rises, but it doesn't have the gravity anymore. It doesn't have that weight anymore. So it becomes almost like a loss. Well, it is a loss. It's not. This is not really about a gain. It's a loss of what seemingly you know, the life that you seem to know, or the friends that you think that you have, or you're being 25 years old when this is timeless. There's no you that has an age. There's no you at all. But when there's this seeing that nothing really matters, there's this aliveness. So there's eating sushi at night. There's dancing. There's just it's just full on expression of death, living at the same time.
Yeah, like it's funny, like at school, I feel like people kind of got the impression that I went off the deep end. Kind of obvious. But
it's like well, yeah, kinda. You want to, yeah.
Yeah, it's not really.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more eye contact. There's a lot more telling people you're awesome.
Yeah.
All that happens.
Yeah, there's all of a sudden the character is more authentic now, although it's not real.
Yeah. Dude, you know what, man? That's a fucking great way to put it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Amarali. We'll chat soon again, mate.
Sure, bro.
And Shy. Oh, I can't hear you. Your silence. Ooh.
So listening to Amirali, thank you. You're awesome.
You're
We're
awesome
all in
too.
Canada. We're all in Canada. Amirali's in Canada
yeah.
too.
3 days in
That's
Montreal. Let's do it.
Yes.
So I was at Tam Tams last weekend with a few friends. Anyone who doesn't know, Tam Tams is like Montreal with a lot of hippies coming and playing.
Yeah, I know Tam Tam. Yeah.
And I saw this Buddha statue for $20, so I bought it.
Oh, cool.
And I just thought of him just now. Well, I was like, I felt like bringing him here, and I was like thinking, so did Buddha realize this, or is this beyond what Buddha freaking realized?
Is that Buddha or Satan? What the that thing was coated in red. Okay.
Yeah, it's a red Buddha.
Cool.
It's both. I would say it's both.
I swear to God, that was Lucifer, bro. You got ripped off.
This is both. Like, this is Buddha and Satan wrapped into one, and he's so serene. And he is also raising his hand, just like me right now on Zoom.
Nice.
I
Dude,
think he's smoking a joint. It's kind of like,
Yeah, no, he's raising his hand. It's like he wants to ask a question at the
Oh, okay.
At the non-duality Zoom. Because Zoom exists at this time.
When everything collapses, even the beliefs in, and apparent characters don't like this answer, that there's no history.
Yeah, right.
So there's
the appearance of this.
There's no Buddha that got realized. Yeah, this is just an appearance in this apparent. All that there is this. So that seemed to have been based on, thousands of years of Buddha, but there's no thousands of years.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great.
I have a Buddha head here. I use it as a hat holder, so I put my hat in Buddha. That's what I do it now. But seemingly, I'm saying in these stories, because this is a story on top of a story about historical stories, about the story of Buddha, the story of enlightenment, the story of that. Everything is happening all at once at this apparent moment. The story of Buddha, the story of you going to Tam Tams, the story of whatever. It's all appearing at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no before or after this. It's only this. So you are thinking that there is a history. You went to Tam Tams, but the you that's thinking is a mystery. It's not a
but that's fun, right? I mean, that's awesome. Like, if it makes me feel good, then
why not? Why not? It's as I said, whatever it is it is. If it feels great, why not?
I really went crazy with this Tantam shopping spree, because I also bought this thing, which is a
Oh, cool.
like a dream catcher.
You
I don't
you
know.
went full on hippie there in Tam Tam.
Because this is being uploaded to YouTube, so I want to brag.
Okay.
Oh, this is not.
Is it a dream catcher?
It's like a dream catcher kind of thing you wear.
This
on
is
your...
a dream, so it's actually working right now.
Exactly. So
This is a dream.
I'm catching the dream. Yeah. Okay, it fell off. Okay, it didn't fall off.
Yeah, because there's no dreamer, just dream.
Because there's nothing to fall off of.
Yeah, that's right. Wow.
And there's no dream catcher.
That's right.
It's just an appearance of it. But appearance is good enough for me for now. Like I can live with.
What's wrong with appearances? There's nothing wrong or right about anything at all. So all of this appearance is just this hooray. Why not? So what?
Yeah, no, I mean there's still a preference to feel good rather than feeling bad, whatever good or bad means. I mean that's where I'm at. I'm at this.
Your prefer is also an illusion. It doesn't exist as well.
Right.
You don't really have any preference.
I mean, I'm way before this final enlightenment happened, so that's why.
It's already done. It's finished.
It's done. It's true.
It's done.
It's finished. It's in the non-past, which doesn't exist.
Yes.
Okay. That's it. Okay, I'm done. I can just be here.
Thank you. Well, I think I went way over time because this is supposed to be an hour. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Shai. Thank you, everyone that asked questions. I'm going to open up a breakout room, and next week there is a weekend, couple of days. If you guys want to attend that, just go to the website. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Emerson.
Bye.
Love you.
Love you. Love you. Love you. Love you. Love you.
Love you, bro.
That was great. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Emerson.
Thank you. Happy birthday, Nancy. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday
Thank
to you. Happy birthday, dear Nancy. Can someone do a second voice? Harmonize with me. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
There you go.
Wow.
Shy, dude.
Thank you
Dude,
guys.
Shy with
That
the
was very,
vibrato.
Yes.
Nice.
very
Thank
very
you.
Oh,
sweet. Thank
so
you.